Hello and welcome. My name is Mohammed Hudhud, and I'm the North Carolina Violent Death Reporting System Program Coordinator at the Division of Public Health in the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. Today, we're going to talk about the North Carolina Violent Death Reporting System Data User Support Tools. So let's get right in. So we have these really great data, and there are countless opportunities for these data to inform programs at the local, city, and state levels. So you may be wondering why studying violent death is even important. We know that violence and related death are increasing public health threats, be it surging firearm-related homicides or intimate partner-related killings. The two most important reasons for studying violent death are that one, it's completely preventable, and two, these are real people with real friends, families, and stories. Violent death doesn't occur in isolation or affect a victim's immediate surroundings alone. The societal costs, monetary and otherwise, can't fully be enumerated. And so with that said, we want you to research violent injury and death. And so to help you get more familiarized with using the data, we've created a Data Users Toolkit. This toolkit includes a list of recent projects, our YouTube channel, the data flat file, and more. We've created this toolkit also recognizing that these data are messy. In other words, it's not a plug and play data set. Essentially, the state collects findings in their own system online, sends them to CDC, and then we have to use the CDC that's packaged back to us. More on that shortly. So the frequently asked questions, as you can imagine, is a set of commonly asked questions you may be wondering as you become more and more familiarized with the data and form your research question. We're always looking for more questions. And so if you have any, please do let us know. These questions range from how to access the data, what to do when you receive it, to sharing and publishing. The list of selected projects showcase some of the previous work that's been done with NC-VDRS data. Please be sure to check this out as you begin your work. So DUAs are really important. A DUA, or data use agreement, is a contractual document used for the transfer of data that's been collected by the government or another entity where the data is subject to some restrictions on its use. For NC-VDRS, we want to maximize the likelihood that the data are being used for public health purposes. We have a DUA in place so that we can make sure the data is being used responsibly. And here I want to emphasize that if you have any questions at all regarding DUAs, please do reach out. I've included here a screenshot of the data request form. To clarify, this form is submitted to the branch before a DUA is set up. So again, these data are messy. Data is stored in 5 separate data tables. First, we have the victim characteristics. This is organized in a data set where each row is for a unique victim. Next, we have incident level information where each row in the data set is for a different incident. And this won't be a one-on-one ratio as far as entries with the victim data set. So there may be a single incident where there are multiple victims killed. And so next we have the suspect data set where, as you can imagine, each line item is for information on a single suspect. And lastly, we have a data set where every weapon, on every weapon suspected for every incident. And so how do we make this easier for you? The general use flat file is a file that includes 131 of the most used variables and alleviates this one-to-one issue we mentioned previously. Essentially, the 5 CDC tables are collapsed into a single table in which every row is a victim and all relevant data is nicely organized under one suspect. I've included a screenshot of the NC-VDRS codebook. And here I want to mention that this codebook is North Carolina specific and doesn't mirror that of the CDC's. I've included a screenshot of our YouTube channel here. This is another great resource to familiarize yourself with NC-VDRS. We have how-to videos, 101 videos, and also just some selected research presentations. So missing entries in a certain variable doesn't necessarily indicate bad data collection. Abstractors pull from data death certificates, law enforcement reports, and chief medical examiner reports. If sexual preference, for example, isn't listed in either of these, it simply wasn't collected or documented from the source. This is another reason why data linkages are so great. And on the note of missingness, I've included here a color plot plotting the missingness of some of the most used variables. Here it's for Asian decedents. Now we see here on the y-axis some very commonly used variables, and then on the x-axis we see year, and on the right here is the gradient of missingness. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions at all.